Good afternoon. I am here with
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Qazi. Good afternoon. Qazi Halim, President of the State Council from 2013 to 2014. When you joined the State Council, were you a staff member, a resident, management, coordinator?
I I joined long before when I was at Interfaith Medical Center, and I was in a supervisory level with Ralph DePalma.
Okay,
He was
excellent.
my at that time they used to call chief pharmacist. So he was the chief pharmacist. I was the supervisor. But I don't know exactly at that time whether still I was in the union, because there was, after that, in 1984 or something, I came out of the union, and then and then 1986, I became the director of pharmacy when Ralph DePalma went to Coney Island Hospital. So since then, I was in Interfaith, and I left Interfaith in 1993, and 1989, I was promoted as assistant vice president, taking care of pharmacy, lab, laboratory, respiratory therapy, and physical therapy, and psychiatry. So five departments. So I left at 1993, and then I went to Brookdale Hospital, and I was working as an associate director with Seymour Cass, one of our past president, an icon of the industry, hospital pharmacy. And then, unfortunately, uh, he died in 1999, all you know. And at that time, I became the director of pharmacy. And I left Brookdale and I retired from there in 2014.
Okay. Who did you meet that made you want to advance in the council's organization?
Uh, this is my mentor was Ralph DePalma. He, as you know, Ted, I came from Bangladesh and I didn't know too many people. I came to this country in 1972, so he's the one, and really he grabbed me to go to the meetings and introduce to the people. And sometimes he has introduced twice to the same person because he wants to make sure that I'm introduced. So he was really the guy behind, not only for New York State Council, but I will say whatever I am today as a pharmacist, he is behind it.
Okay. You mentioned Seymour Katz. He was a past president. How
Right.
many of the previous past presidents did you
Right.
know, and what were they like?
Say it again.
How many of the previous past presidents
Right.
did you know, and what were they like?
Oh, I know almost all of them from that time. Yeah, and some of them I was very close, and really, that inspired me to get involved. And as you remember, we used to have a uh, quarterly meeting of the directors of Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island pharmacy. At that time, Seymour was the director of pharmacy, and we used to go to that meeting, and we felt that we should have a separate chapter for Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island, and that's what the Royal County started. And if you remember the name Ray Sandusky, one of the past president, and he became the president for the Royal County, and I became the vice president, the only vice president, because after that there was no vice president in the Royal County chapter. So we started it, and then when formal officers were elected, and then I told Ralph De Palma, that you helped me and you were always with the Royal County, I mean, the New York State Council meeting. It is time for now to be the president for the Royal County. And he started as the first president for the Royal Counties, and that's what it started.
Okay. What challenges did you see as a member, board member, and president of the state council?
As a member, I really didn't see any challenge, but I felt like that this New York State Council, the membership could have increased more. And I had in my mind that if we can get involved, the director of pharmacies in the hospital, if they get involved, then we'll get their staff involved more, and will it will be a bigger institution. And if you remember, the Royal Counties meeting were initially used to have the monthly meeting in each hospitals, like Brookdale, Flushing Hospital. I think there are other hospitals we went, and we used to have that, so that, and some of the meeting, uh, before the meeting, they used to go take us to the pharmacy to have a round, like that. So that was from the staff, and I think that challenge is yes, still, because we have to go to Albany, to the meetings and things like that, but it worked out good.
Okay. Seeing the council grow through the years, do you think we've met the challenges?
Say it again.
Seeing the council grow through the years, do you
Right.
think we've met all of these challenges?
No, it's good. It did well, and I think during my time, 2013, 14, Deb, Deborah Feinberg, who was the executive director, has a transition with Sean Flynn. We interviewed Sean Flynn, and that was the transition I had during that time. And I think we had an office in Albany, and we used to go there. We had to meeting, and then formally, now the change with Sean Flynn and everything, I think expense wise and other things, it helped. It helped. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
Okay. Membership always seemed to be an issue. Do you remember what members wanted when you were president?
No, it was not. I didn't see any big issue there. And if you remember, at that time, the CDTM was very live. We used to go to Albany and campaign for passing this CDTM bill. But only one thing I felt in my mind, that if we could have worked better with PISNI, to work out, as a joint body for the state, we could have more voice. As you know, there are a lot of cases. New York is always behind, from other states. So I think the cooperation with the PISNI would better serve our organization.
How often did the board meet and where? And was it very organized, professional, or was it more camaraderie?
No, it used to meet. I don't remember exactly how often, but it used to meet. At that time, you remember, we didn't have the Zoom, we didn't have all those things that we can do it. So we did, in person. We used to go in person, and I think, and Ted, you will agree with me that in person meetings and things is much better the interaction, development, things like that. And I felt like that now with Zoom and everything, we'll see in the long run that it really hurts us. In person is really the way to do. And interact with each other. Better. You can, if you have an issue, you can do it right quickly, resolve it. And I enjoyed, in person in Albany.
Was there any major mishaps or major issues or mishaps when you were president, which would be useful for future presidents not to repeat?
I don't recollect at this moment, but
Okay.
it seems like that things went very smoothly. All the members, directors, and other thing, we have a great collaboration with each other, and it was really a teamwork, and I enjoyed it.
Okay. The annual assemblies. When you first became a member, what were the early annual assemblies like, and where were they held?
Oh, at that time, it didn't help in the, like Sagamore or Saratoga, things like that. Used to more on in upstate, but in Poconos or things like that. The old, is now we don't go there now. Is we are having Saratoga almost every year. But I want to go back to Sagamore. And I think that's a very ideal, enjoyable, and we went there
Exactly.
a number of times. But I think we have to look at the financial aspect. We have to think at where we can do it, at a reasonable expense, which is a big factor now. To control the expense and expand the organization.
What was it like when you were president? Was it busy, chaotic, or sedate in the annual assembly for you as president?
I took that responsibility uh, for the presidency with the full commitment from my administration, and they were fully supportive, but unfortunately during that period there was a change in the administration, and that's a little bit have little impact, but it's not that much, although they were supportive, but it was not like the way I started.
Okay. When you became president, was it everything you expected?
You cannot expect everything. Ted. Yeah, you have to, you have a little bit of a bumping and challenging, but at the end it works good, and Deborah Feinberg, I had an excellent relationship with her, and there are other senior past president who were very helpful, and it was good. It was good. I will not complain.
Generational changes. When you started in the council, did you feel you needed to work your way up to the presidency?
Right.
New members have a very different philosophy of needing more evenly divided time between work and play. How do we help them assume these roles in the state council? And will the new members be able to move the council forward? It's a lot of different questions in there.
Right. No, I think, I first my exposure to the New York State Council in the with the royal counties. I served as the president there. As I initially mentioned, that I was the first vice president from that, and then I become the president, and thereafter I was serving in the board of directors, and it was a continuous exposure and change that helped and really prepared you to take the challenge. And Mark Sennett was immediate past president, and Mark was, as you know, he's very good, and he helped me also. So it was okay.
And with new members, do you think they'll be able to move the council forward?
Say it again.
New members, will they be able to move the council forward?
Yes, I think right now the way the directors and the president and everything, I think is good. Is now is more of a leadership going to the younger generation. So I think this is the time to move on. Because when I go to the meeting, and you will notice also that all the younger generations are getting involved, and from the chapters and from hopefully from there. And I was also involved in the nomination committee for the New York State Council, and that also, a little bit helpful to get involved and get put in the right people in the right place, So I think is moving in the right direction.
Any final parting nuggets that you would want to give to future members who wish to become president?
I think uh, whoever take the leadership as the president for the New York State Council, they should have time commitment, which is important, and as you remember, used to do the what you call the timetable thing.
Timeline.
Timeline. That's, I think it was a very good one, and I think we should get into that type of things. That this is what you have, this is what you have to do, and that's what So you don't just come to a vacuum. And sometimes if you don't have experience in the ladder of getting into the presidency, you need that.
Okay. With that, we'll end our session. The recording eventually will be cut off at this point. So thank you again.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a few things. Okay. And Ted, stay well. Okay. And
Okay.